So what I noticed on a lot of marimbas that, you know, especially when I was, before I was playing this brand, is that, you know, I noticed on certain days that certain bars would be really short and certain bars would be really long ring time. And, you know, that was really sort of, didn't think there was anything we could do about it. You could raise the bank or lower the bank. And, you know, if you look at some of the old 250s, you can see you can, you know, you could raise the whole bank up closer to the bars and lower to the bars. And that really didn't, to my ears anyway, make much difference. And that was an effort to try to, you know, fix those issues where certain bars were ringing longer. And so really what the reason for all this is that weather changes. You know, weather has an effect on, you know, how a bar resonates with the tube. Okay, so maybe we're getting a little bit too technical here, but we can talk about more of that in a future episode. When you really listen to your marimba, you'll notice that not all bars ring the same, or one might ring really long, the one next to it might ring shorter. But really, obviously, you want them to ringing both as equal as possible. Okay, and having control over the tube length is how that happens. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I'll show you. This instrument hasn't really been touched in probably a week or so. The weather here is pretty stagnant at the moment, but I always find that I have to make adjustments almost every day, just to some degree. So let's just see if we can't find a problem here or there. So this is the bar that I really like, the F sharp. Okay, it has a nice ring time. The decay is real solid, just kind of nice, even decay to it. Okay. The A flat's about the same. Okay, that's good. And then we got B flat. Okay, now that note sounds really good at first, but then it quickly dies away. You can hear that. See how it just shuts off? I hope you can hear that. And then this A flat has a much longer ring time, and this F sharp, which happens to be an outstanding bar, is very, very long. Okay, so if I play the A flat and the B flat together, we're left to hear the A flat, and the B flat is sort of killed. Okay, so with other marimba designs, I'm sort of out of luck in this scenario, so I can't really do anything about that. So, but with this particular instrument, with this Maltech, I can actually fix this problem by moving the tube, moving the cap of the tube up and down. So what we're going to try to do is pull the tube out and see where that gets us. Okay, so now this B flat isn't shutting down like it was before, and I can adjust it a little more to sort of extend the ring time. If I go too far, you'll start to hear a little pop at the beginning of the sound. I don't like that, because the envelope, the beginning of the tone, I don't like, so I can go back up. That's better. I lost a little ring time there, so I'll back it out just a hair more. There you go. So now, these two bars, in theory, should be ringing about the same length. And sure enough, they are. So, when you get to know and you listen to your sound that specifically, you start noticing these things, okay? And the really beautiful thing about this instrument is I have the ability now to change, you know, to fix anything like that I hear. Okay, let's just try one more thing here. So let's just compare the C sharp and the D sharp. I don't really like either one of those, but I for sure don't like this note. We're getting pretty good ring time, but I really don't like the beginning of this sound, or the envelope of the sound. So we're gonna try to fix that. I suspect this tube is a little bit too long at the moment, so I'm gonna push it up. And I was wrong, actually. Ring time is there, but that beginning note is just awful. So if I pull it down, now we're getting much more envelope. I think you can hear that. Now we're getting a lot of envelope, but the bar shuts down prematurely. So I can change that too. Shortening the bar a little bit, or shortening the tube a little bit. Now I got a pretty good envelope, and the ring time is back. Now, that's the capability that the tunable resonators give you. And so I also have the option of tuning the whole instrument a certain way, because this particular instrument has tunable resonators all the way up and down on every single note. It is a little bit more obvious in the lower range to make some adjustments like this, but it is occasionally important to be able to make similar changes up in the top part of the instrument. So I can tune the whole thing, with more of an envelope at the beginning and less decay time, or more even decay time. I have that option if I'd like. So it's really nice to have, when you're that focused on tone, the keyboard that well. It's really nice to have that sort of focus. We're going to leave you with just one quick story that I found this capability to be really important when I was recording All Times Identical, my first recording. We were doing it in a room, like a second floor house in Corpus Christi in August, and it was incredibly warm. And so we had air conditioning, but it wasn't working very well. And so we would record from 6 a.m. to about 11 and take a break until the evening to have things cool down. But by the time we got to, towards later in the morning, the instrument changed just dramatically because of the heat in that room. And so constantly in the recording session, I was changing tubes in and out. And I think that was something that was so critical, because we didn't want to have the instrument sometimes sounding really great and sometimes not on the recording. So having that capability was really, really critical. Okay, so I probably, we're getting way marimba geeky here, but I hope some of that made sense to you guys. I'm not, Lee Stevens didn't ask me to do this or anything like that. I'm just telling you like it is and how I experience it. It doesn't mean that other marimbas aren't very good or whatever. It's just nice to have that capability. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think, to hear what your reactions to this. Just love to know your thoughts. And if we need to get together on Ustream to talk about it, that'd be fantastic too. I would love to do that with you guys. So that's today's show. So comments, of course, about what we talked about. But I have, it's football season, and the Horns start their season tomorrow night, actually. A lot of hype around Colt McCoy and the Longhorns, and I love Longhorn football. But I grew up in Buffalo, and we just fired our offensive coordinator today. I just found out. So here's the question of the episode. Which will be higher? Okay, listen carefully. It's a little complicated. Which will be higher? The Bills' loss total or the Longhorns' win total? See you next time.